He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Cajun Conservative, where I talk about life, I talk about liberty, I talk about the pursuit of happiness, and I show the world that, yes, us here in Louisiana, South Cajuns have intelligence. Southwestern, Southeastern, whatever you want to say. We are here for you. Please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button on the platform you are listening on. Remember to go like us on Facebook, go like us on Twitter, and go like us on True Social. If you are a continual listener, please go ahead and share this podcast with a friend, a relative, a liberal, somebody that, you know, I don't ask for no money, ladies and gentlemen. All I ask is for a like and a share. The Facebook page is at 984. We've been stagnant on that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start getting some people. Hey, tell you good friends that there's a neighbor, that friendly neighbor Cajun waiting to talk with you. And love every one of you guys. Thank you for your continued support on the podcast. Anyway, guys, look, are you happy? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm just, look, to start off, I'm gonna go boom right into it. Are you happy? I'm asking, are you happy, ladies and gentlemen, that we have one of the greatest economies in the world, and we got one of the most smartest guys as president of the United States? And are you just happy that we have so much of good? We have, America's blessed with intelligence from the left. Because I'm glad we do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying this sarcastically because we had a bad day again. It's not a bad day, a bad year with inflation. But according to President Backwards Joe, we're good. We have one of the greatest economies. It's growing stronger, better, because we got so many jobs, and sometimes the inflation goes down. And okay. I'm sorry, I can't hold this no more. So Tuesday, the numbers came out for August, and the customer price index, the CPI, rose 8.3 between August 2021 and August 2022, according to the Tuesday report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the inflation is going down a little bit, just a little bit. And the Biden administration and the left are all excited because, according to the AP, I heard today, inflation hasn't grown in 2 months. Oh, we're doing good. Oh, right before the midterms elections, we're doing well. The reading makes a decline from the 8.5 year-to-year rate seen in July and the 9.1 year-over-year rate seen in June as gasoline prices continue to fall. However, month-to-month prices for food, shelter, and medical services continue to tick upward, producing a 0.1 overall price increase from July. Economists have experienced headline inflation to fall 0.1%. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because, and I bring this up every month, that inflation is is key right now because it is hurting the economy. Now, So inflation's falling. The left is going all over the world today and saying, oh boy, inflation's going down. But there was a problem. The stock market closed on Tuesday afternoon after the worst day since June of 2020, following the morning release of the consumer price index data that showed prices continued to rise in August, a 12-month 8.3%, while core inflation doubled. It expects increases. By market close, the S&P was 500 down more than 4.12%. The Dow to 3,932,069. The Dow Jones Industry Average has shed to 1,279.79 points, or 3.94%. The Nasdaq was down more than 5% to 11,633. If this was part of the Build Back Better policy agenda, he must have forgotten to mention it. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, inflation, according to the numbers, did go down 8 point to 8.2%, to where it's now at 8.3 at the end of July. But ladies and gentlemen, as the Daily Wire pointed out, this was Town Hall, food is going up. Let me go to that article. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Food, shelter, and medical services continue to tick upward. And the price increase from July has gone up. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have that inflation going down. I'm going to report that because that is true. I'm not one of them people that don't report it because that might sound bad for the Republicans. No, inflation has gone down. Why? Because gas prices have shot down so much that it kind of balanced it out. But you're still paying almost over 8% more than you paid a year ago. That is fact. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I had a liberal tell me this the other day. Your facts, when you say it's fact, don't mean it's fact. No, when I give you numbers coming from government entities, yes, it is fact. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is fact. Food is continuing going up. Shelters is going up. Medical services are going up. Ladies and gentlemen, that sent the stock market into a frenzy where the Dow and the Nasdaq went down. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Town Hall, and I'm going to read their article where I just quoted from, stock market crash, worst day in over 2 years. We have not had a bad day in the market like this since COVID-19. And the reason it fell like that, because people like to blame Trump. The economy was bad in 2020. Well, duh. We had a global pandemic where we shut down the economy. No, duh, you dumb liberal. Of course it was bad. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm sorry if I offended some of you snowflakes out there. I haven't heard that term in a while. That just came to me. Boop. Like a snowflake. Anyway, I'm just... You had a global pandemic that shut down our economy. Shut it down. And you want to blame Donald Trump for that? But when you have a backwards Joe in the White House that done this to us, I think he's a good president. I think he's fine. I think he's helping the country. No, he's not. Ladies and gentlemen, just to remember, inflation peaked at 9.1%. Back in July. This was the man in a press conference way before that peak said, I think inflation peaked. I think we're about to go down on inflation. I think we're going to go. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again. Democrats do not help the American citizens. They put pain on the American citizens while attacking Republicans, the MAGA movement, of course. Now, you might be asking, Joe had to mention this. President Joe Biden had to mention inflation. Joe Biden had to go ahead and address this critical issue of inflation and the Dow and the Nasdaq going down. You would think, ladies and gentlemen, that the President of the United States would be so concerned with these inflation numbers that he would address the nation. No, he wasn't. You know what President Biden was doing? Holding a celebration party. According to Fox News, Biden slammed for hosting Inflation Reduction Act celebration with America's 401ks going down the drain. That's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a 401k or a retirement in the stock market, you really had a bad day on Tuesday because you lost a lot of stuff. You lost a lot of your earnings. You lost a lot of your investments into that because the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq went down. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm sorry. President Biden is being slammed for a White House celebration of the Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act. The same day, higher than expected inflation in August was announced. At the event, on the White House lawn, Biden said the Inflation Reduction Act was the single most important legislation passed in Congress to combat inflation and one of the most significant laws in our history, while the stock markets tumbled in real time. And Ames concerned about raising prices with the Dow Jones industry averaging the worst day since June of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here They're celebrating the Inflation Reduction Act while inflation is still at an all-time high. Celebrate this law when inflation goes down. Don't go ahead and celebrate it while you're having the worst economical day in 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I call this man Backwards Joe. This man was having a party while you were suffering, while your 401ks were going down, while your investments in the stock market was going out. This man was drinking cocktails and eating caviar with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and every other stupid idiot that voted for this bill. Oh, works me up, ladies and gentlemen. When you have, look, and this is how far, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. This shows right here how mistouched these people are with the American citizens. This is by far to show you how out-touched the Democrat Party is. I'm trying to find his quote. I was supposed to put up the video and I didn't. Oh, where's it at? Let me go ahead and go to let me see. I wonder if they have a quote. He was talking about this legislation, if I can remember correctly. How this legislation is so significant because it's bringing down food costs for the families. It is helping. That's what it was. It's helping. So this piece of legislation is helping people to afford stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, watching the video, I wish I had the video up. I didn't get to go ahead and put it on. I wish this fool, I'm sorry to call the president that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. But this man is telling us that the Inflation Reduction Act that he's celebrating while we're having the worst economical day and the inflation is sky high, that this piece of legislation that's been signed into law, it's going to help the American people get food on the table. It's going to go, you're not interacting with people, Joe Biden. You're sitting in the White House eating your chocolate ice cream. Oh, I forgot, he likes vanilla. You're eating your vanilla ice cream while people's 401k is going down in a drain. Now, this wasn't the only thing. Like I said, this is how out of touch the Democrat Party is with the American people. Nancy Pelosi was at this event while inflation is still through the roof, ladies. Look, I seen a stat the other day, and I think under Barack Obama, which is not my favorite president, I think inflation hit 4%. 4. That was the highest. It hadn't hit that high since these numbers are 40-year highs, ladies and gentlemen. Just be blunt with that. But even Barack Obama only hit 4%. Ladies and gentlemen, this backwards Joe has caused inflation to go up to the highest in 2 years. In 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, inflation hit the highest at 9.1. And this is how out of touch the Democrat Party is with the American people. People are suffering. But while that's going on, not to address the high inflation, ladies and gentlemen. You know how they address that? They put us an Inflation Reduction Act the inflation will go down until about 2 to 3, maybe 4 years in this bill. This is how out of touch the Democrat Party is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read this article, and this made me pretty upset when I read this. This is from the Daily Caller. Pelosi says Inflation Reduction Act, which won't reduce inflation. We already know that. It's so beautifully named. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that the Inflation Reduction Act was beautifully named during her remarks at the White House Tuesday. As so many friends with a thrill it would be to be what a thrill it is to be here to celebrate this life-changing legislation, making the Inflation Reduction Act so beautifully named for all that is done, Pelosi said. Do y'all like my Nancy Pelosi? I don't think I can do that. My throat. Anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, listen to this woman. The House Speaker of the United States. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and I don't know. I'm going to quote the Bible. They will be willfully ignorant. The ESV says deliberately overlooking facts. I heard a preacher say willfully ignorant in Hebrew means dumb on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, how can these people have a celebration, drinking their cocktails and eating their caviar, while the inflation numbers are going through the roof and Americans are suffering? Now, I don't know. On November 8th, we're all going to go vote. Some might go early vote. Some might go to the mailboxes. I don't know. But on November 8th, we all should go vote. And when we should go vote, we should remember that these people were having a celebration for something called the Inflation Reduction Act. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, ladies. I think God has a good sense of humor. I believe a lot of things are divine. Just imagine this, okay? They were having this celebration the day that the CPI came out and said that inflation hit 8.3, but in reality, it did not really hit 8.3 because everything else is still going up. Well, it hit 8.3, but everything else is going up besides one thing, gasoline, that's leveling it out. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Just think. These people, look, when people tell me there ain't no God in heaven, I think of moments like this, and I'm like, yeah, there is. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Pelosi bringing out this statement. Oh, it's so beautifully named. Oh, it's so beautifully named. The Inflation Reduction Act. While we're still seeing record high inflation numbers. And people are paying more for food, paying more for medical supplies, paying more for everything. But these people are at the White House drinking their cocktails. Now, it got worse for Nancy Pelosi, by the way. Because this is according to Fox News. In this article, I laughed when I seen this. Nancy Pelosi nudges audience to clap during White House lawn event. That's an applause line. So Nancy Pelosi made this line. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi struggled with the audience Tuesdays while giving a speech at the White House lawn to celebrate President Joe Biden signing of the Inflation Reduction Act. Appearing alongside Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Pelosi said the landmark law, which Biden signed last month, is driving down costs for kitchen tables. Which Biden signed last month is driving down costs for kitchen table items for American working families. I wish she must have not read the new report because food is still going up. That's what the report said. Mr. President, thank you for unifying and inspiring a vision of a stronger, fairer, safer future for all our children at 8.3% inflation. See, I added that. She didn't say that. Your extraordinary leadership has made this glorious day possible, Pelosi said. After a brief moment of silence, Pelosi told the audience, that is an applause line. Nobody clapped. You know why nobody clapped, ladies and gentlemen? First, because I don't think they believe this hunk of garbage that she's bringing out. But ladies and gentlemen, you just had a report a few hours earlier saying, yes, inflation did go down to 8.3, but food costs is still going up. Which she said, oh, yeah, like her line, where's it at? Signed last. She said to President Biden, is driving down costs for the kitchen table items. No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, I call this hypocrisy at its finest. And this is how out of touch the Democrat Party is with the American citizens. They're wondering why they're losing in certain polls, or they're wondering why Republicans are expecting a red wave. And conservatives like myself believe we're going to win the Senate and the House. It's because of garbage like this. I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I heard this earlier. I think if they keep doing crap like this, I think even people in the Democrat Party is going to see how two-faced these people are. Ladies and gentlemen, the president should not have been celebrating his signature legislation. He should be fighting. Well, you got to realize this legislation fights inflation. No, it don't. No, it don't. All I know that all that did was lie to the American people. On that note, I'll be right back after this short break. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Bought us with your blood, cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Cajun Conservative Show. Pete Buttigieg goes ahead and says something that's, again, ridiculous. The article reads, Town Hall, another Biden official is really excited about banning gas cars. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Biden's Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. Remember, I don't call him Buttigieg. I call him Buttigieg. And I haven't said his name in a while, so if you're a first-time listener, you might be asking, why you call Buttigieg? Because he's lies so much. He looks like Swiss cheese with all the holes. He got so many holes in his story, basically. So Buttigieg is praising California recent decision to ban gas-powered vehicles by 2035, echoing statements made by the Energy Secretary, Jennifer Granholm. Now, the comments come just days after Gavin Newsom begged residents not to change their electric vehicles and other large electronics. Newsom is encouraging people to keep their thermostats above 78 to avoid overheating the electric grid into rolling blackouts. And Pete Buttigieg basically said, I have the video right here, says he's really interested. He says he's really interested in the California ban on new gas-powered vehicles. We got to make sure that this happens quickly enough to help beat climate change. Now, he also said in the clip that he believes we should go ahead and implement this nationwide or do something similar nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the midterms cannot come fast enough, and I hope that the Republican Party, unless they do something crazy and stupid, that they are going to go ahead and mess it up. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, the midterms are for the Republicans for the taking. And I just told you on the last segment how out of touch are the Democrats when it comes to inflation and everything. The Democrats are so out of touch, it is unreal. It is mind-boggling to see that these people graduated college. They either had some help or, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, they were magically smart for the first 4 to 8 years they were in college. But ladies and gentlemen, and look, this brings out a good point. Buttigieg is saying this is good. We need to do this to beat climate change. We need to go ahead and do this and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, California is telling their citizens, and look, I said this in the last segment, this proves that God does exist. I know people might be saying, no, it don't, but I'm just saying there has to be a God out there for stuff to happen like this. 2 to 3 days after Gavin Newsom says, we're going to ban gas-powered cars and we're going to do electric vehicles and you will be happy and healthy and you'll be in utopia because we're not going to be selling these nasty gas-powered vehicles. 2 to 3 days later, please don't plug up your electric cars. Please keep your thermostat at 78 and sweat balls. Please don't, because the grid's about to go out and we're going to... Just imagine when you take away gas-powered cars. But Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, we should try to implement this nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, look how out of touch these people are. They want to ban gas-powered vehicles, but we don't have the energy grids to hold up all the electricity. You know, and look, just imagine this is how America's going to be. I'm going to be blunt. I'm trying to be as serious as possible, but I have that image in my mind. Do you remember, ladies and gentlemen, the cartoons or the movies when a dad is plugging up the Christmas lights, and when he plugs it up, all the city goes dark. And that's because they overpowered the transmitter for the electricity. Imagine that going on in California. Everybody around, I don't know what time to go to bed, 8, 9 o'clock, whatever. Oh, honey, we forgot. And look, everybody else in the neighborhood has their electric power cards plugged in. And one person forgets and they go, oh, honey, we forgot to plug the car and we're going on a 2-hour ride. We need that car fully charged. Okay, baby, I'll go plug it in. Poof! And all you see are lights are gone in California. Apparently, that's what Gavin Newsom's afraid. Oh, no, don't plug. No, and it's blackout. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how, and look, I'm serious. Just think about this. This is how dumb these people are. They think we're going to stop global warming, but we won't have electricity to fuel the cars. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this, I can't stand with the stupidity of this nation. I'm sorry. Well, no, correction. I can't even say the stupidity of this nation. I'm saying the stupidity of the left. I really can't. I'm serious. There have to be a God out there for a sense of humor like this. They signed this bill into law and their grid's about to blow up. And that's okay. We're going to get it fixed by 2035. Sure. Nothing has been fixed in California in years. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I got this article from CNN Politics. Analysts forecasting now predict Democrats have the edge in the fight for Senate control. The 538 electric model finds that 70 out of 100 electoral simulators, Democrats emerged from 2022 in the majority. The economist models is even more optimistic for the party, finding that in 78 of the 100 simulators, Democrats retained their majority in November. Both models take into account polling, demographics, fundraising, historical data to produce a prediction of what will happen in 2 months' time. At the time of this article, it's worth noting that these forecasters are built on probability outcomes that predict power depends on how good and underlying data are. So just remember here, it depends on how underlying data and polling and other things are. Now, this is why I'm bringing this up. A lot of polls right now either have it leaning Democrat or just as a tie. You know, me and my brother was talking about this the other day. You watch a poll. Please do your own research on this. I've seen this for years. If a Democrat is blowing a Republican out the water, it is on the media. Oh, the Democrats are slaughtering this Republican. The Democrats are just taking away. But when a Republican is slaughtering a Democrat, you never see it on the mainstream media. Never. Unless it's a story relevant to like the state. Like the other day I saw they were talking about John Kennedy and Gary Chambers and that other guy. And that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrats, John Bell endorsed a guy and some Democrats endorsed a guy. Nobody knows about him. I don't even know his name. The two top runners right now are Gary Chambers and John Kennedy. Just plain and simple. But when you're looking at polls, sometimes they might show John Kennedy's leading by 20, 30 points, whatever. And that's for a relevant story. But you never see that out of, you never use that as a comparison. You never see that on mainstream. But you will see sometimes, Democrats are leading this state by way majorities. But you notice when they talk about Republicans leading a state or have a chance to win a state. Well, the last poll that took, the Republican was slightly advantage. Slightly in the margin of error, which means they're a tie. And if it's out of the margin of error for the Democrat, the Democrat's winning by 4 points just outside the margin of error, but that means he's winning. So these models, if it's pulling on that, it would give a chance. Now, this is from CNN Politics, so this is a left-leaning. It came from 538.com. And so this article basically says, the Senate has a chance. But now it goes into another issue of polling and data. Remember, they said from polling, fundraisers, and everything like this. Well, we got this article from the New York Times. I originally found this. Let me see if I can get this out. It might not work. Oh, okay. So I don't have. Okay, so I'm gonna go to. Anyway, I got this from. I got this article from. Excuse me. From the. And it's not letting me see it. Man, you gotta hate when it does stuff like that. Anyway, well, I can go to another article. I'm glad I grabbed the secondary article. But there was I think this quotes it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it came out from an article in the New York Times. I found it on Yahoo News, but Daily Wire went ahead and brought this out. The New York Times chief political analyst said Monday that the 2022 midterms may be yet another massive miss for the polling industry. Now, remember, like I just said, that last article I just read, they said that they took it from data, fundraising, and polling, because the New York Times article reads like this: are the polls wrong again? And you might be saying, well, what do you mean, Isaac? Democrats have been surging in the polls in several key battleground states, but in the article entitled, yes, the polling warning signs are flashing again. I thought it was the same one. Correction. The New York Times chief political analyst Nate Cole said that the same errors in data collecting that varies overstate Democrat support in the 2020 election are creeping up again in the same areas in recent polling, meaning that Democrats may not be as strong in the polls as indicated. Now, remember, the CNN poll or the 538.com poll or the prediction said that they brought into account, excuse me, all the polling, all fundraisers, and all that stuff, which a lot, like in the state of Georgia, I believe Herschel Walker's blowing people out the water. Which, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm proud of Guy Benson. I know that's a wrench in my thoughts, but Guy Benson had Herschel Walker today. Yay! He might be getting more conservative. I don't know. Anyway. But Cole begins his article with a data table from 2020 showing the gap between media and universal polling and the actual election results in 11 battleground states, amongst more engaging eras. And he goes through all the lists and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Times, now this is not a popular right article. This is coming from, like I said, the New York Times saying that, look, there's some errors. There's some things, and they're worried about it. Why they're worried about it? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, this goes to the point of what I was saying. See, Politico put an article out the other day. Now, CNN put out an article, and they're saying how Democrats have an edge and Democrats are winning. And I remember quoting the Politico article because I was saying, well, look, if that's true, why is the senator in Washington fighting for her job? Why is the governor of New York fighting for her job? Why is all the Democrats struggling? And I brought out a couple examples, but now it's starting to show right here, ladies and gentlemen, are the polls accurate? That's what you have to ask. You have to ask, is the polls accurate? And this is from the New York Times stating words about this. Now, Town Hall also did an article saying Democrats are worried that they're leading in these battleground states. On this Tuesday marks the official end of the 2022 midterm primary season, which they have wrapped up. With races across the country set for a November general election. But even as Democrats spent a week or more spinning a there is no red wave coming message to try to taunt their strength and popularity amongst voters, the party of President Biden is quietly feeding that their candidates are in the lead. They're frightened that their candidates are in the lead. These words are evident based on the polls showing Democrats' midterm candidates up over GOP opponents in places where polls showed Hillary Clinton leading against Trump in 2016. And we all know how that turned out, as well in the places surveyed incorrectly show Biden running up leads in places when he actually wasn't winning. Is something of the attempt to tamp down hopes amongst Democrats from the New York Times chief political analyst Nate Cole estimates that polling warning signs are flashing again. The New York Times chief political analyst explains how he found and could sense a leak between Democrats' strength today and polling areas of 2 years ago. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think I said this a few weeks ago when I was on the show. Republicans that are either tied or slightly losing, they got a good shot. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we know in 2016 and in 2020, polling was bad. Especially 2016. I remember that year for the election. 2016, every news entity, even Fox News, said Hillary Clinton was going to win in a landslide against Donald Trump. And when the polls came out and when the election happened, Hillary Clinton went crying, wah, 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 all the way home. And till this day, she still says it was Russian collusion and that that election was stolen from her. I'm using those words correctly. Hillary Clinton still thinks that she didn't lose that election, but Russia interfered, and they had other stuff that made her not win the election. She could not face the fact that she lost the election. Now, you might be saying the same, well, what about Donald Trump? Donald Trump said that about 2020. Hey, I don't believe 81 million people voted for President Biden. That's my personal opinion. You can believe what you want. I'll believe what I want. Okay, all I can say is I'm not going to go there. So, but anyway, but you get to the point right here. The polling was significant in people thinking Hillary Clinton was going to win, and guess what? It didn't happen. Now Democrats are, and I've been saying this for I've been saying this for a couple of months in private conversations, that the Democrats are scared, ladies and gentlemen. They're scared of these races coming up, to where they went ahead and they funded MAGA candidates to try to secure the win, and it's backfiring on them. Ladies and gentlemen, this election right here, I think the Democrats are running scared. I did see an article of I think it's the second person in line to Nancy Pelosi, or he might take over Nancy Pelosi's House Speaker's position, but he was saying how the Republicans are running scared. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the Republicans are running scared whatsoever. I thought, let me go see if I saved that article. Because I think I did. Let me go see, because I want to quote it. I don't want to just, let's see, where is it at? Yeah, Democrat chair. I got it right here. Democrat chair Hakeem Jeffries said Republicans are running scared ahead of midterms. Representative Jeffries, the chairman of the House Democrat caucus, said Wednesday that Republicans were running scared ahead of the midterms, aimed a series of special election losses. Jeffries, a New York Democrat who has been tipped as the second as a successor to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, said a conflict of recent events, from the Supreme Court overturning of Roe v. Wade to the raid on Mar-a-Lago, had put Republicans in the blind. They're running scared, said Jeffries. They're not measuring the drapes anymore because the positions of the extreme MAGA Republicans on the economy, on the democracy, and the reproductive freedom, on the whole host of issues, have been exposed, and the American people do not like what they see. Now he's talking cocky because, like I said, polls have. I'm not gonna lie to you, ladies. The polls have gone up for the Democrat Party, especially since the Inflation Reduction Act, chips, and many other things, unfortunately helped by the Republican Party to get passed. I'm being blunt. It's just not the Democrats doing this on a whim. So they also had some Republican help on this. On all this stuff. Oh, they didn't have one Republican vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. They should have, because the Republicans that passed the CHIPS bill that had leverage over the Inflation Reduction Act passed with Republicans' support. And that's when 15, 20 minutes later, Chuck Schumer comes out and says, hey, I think we should do an Inflation Reduction Act. So yeah, it had some Republican ties. Maybe that was the cover. I don't know. But anyway, Jeffries is saying we're running scared. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what this dude is smoking, because I don't think Republicans are running scared. I think Republicans are realizing that, a lot of Republicans are realizing that the media is against them, not for them, and they're going to do whatever they can to help the Democrat Party. So I don't think Republicans are running scared. I think Republicans are very comfortable in their position in 2024. But like I said, you got to watch the polling, you got to watch all that, but at the same time, you got to watch Republicans. Because this is up for the grabs. The Republicans can just go grab. You ever saw them merry-go-rounds where they have the ring where you can grab it? It's there for the taking. Will Republicans grab it? So I think, look, hey, and go vote. That's your job. You're the listener. That's your job to go vote. On that note, we'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all in one word, the Scott Ford Show. and it's on Rumble. And I also have a motivational success show on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell. That would mean a lot to me. Enjoy your life. Thank you, Isaac. God bless.
Then you touch me with your hand. You made me understand. Hold on to the light.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the final segment of this Cajun Conservative Show today. I caught this before going on the air I've been recording for now 30-40 minutes. John Featherman agrees to a live debate in late October. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bad thing about this debate. This is done, according to the article, October 25th. This is going to be on television nationwide, and it's going to be televised for everyone to see, but it's going to be done on October 25th. If I'm not mistaken, majority states go into early voting around October 18th, mid time. So there's going to be half of people voting already, or there's going to be a lot of voting cast. So a lot of these people that might vote for Featherman might watch the debate and say, well, God did dawn. That's a Cajun term. Like, oh, like, wow. Oh, man, God did dawn. Look at that. Look what he said. And I voted for that nut. That. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think John Featherman should be in this race. You know my opinion on John Featherman. This dude had a stroke, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care about his politics this time, right? I don't care what his politics are thinking. He could be the greatest, nicest Republican. If this was a Republican, I would say the same thing. He needs to step down. He needs to stop. I know. Now, this is what they might be working towards too, ladies and gentlemen. Just thinking on top of my head with John Featherman. They might have told John Featherman, keep running, win the seat. And what we'll do is we will go ahead and tell the governor when you win, hey, he is not up to the challenge. Appoint somebody so they can keep their majority. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if the governor, I think it's Tom Wolf. I think there's another race. I don't know. I would have to look at Pennsylvania. Yes, there is a race because Joe Selinsky, the Libertarian candidate, was on my good friends the Cajun Libertarian Show, and he's running, and so there is a gubernatorial race, but the gubernatorial race there, the next governor, Republican or Democrat, would go ahead and pick the next senator. Now I don't know if that's what they're planning on. But we're going to have to wait and see. That's all I got. We got to wait and see. But yeah, John Featherman finally agrees. And I don't like the timing of it, ladies and gentlemen. To be honest with you, and look, I didn't pick up this philosophy myself. I was more, not say talked into, but it made sense. Let's just say it like this. The great late Rush Limbaugh, when he was alive, he made a statement about these early election days, early voting and stuff. Look, I'm not against early voting if you're leaving. If I'm going on a trip and I can't be in Louisiana on November 8th, I'm 9 out of 10. I'm just going to go ahead and go early vote. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with absentee balloting if you validate who you are. There's some people that can't make it to the polls on November 8th. Elderly people. My grandmother, she's an elderly woman. Well, both my grandmothers are. I don't think they make it to the polls. They go ahead and they have to get absentee ballots or they're approved for it. So I understand them circumstances. Don't get me wrong. What I don't like is that people that can make it on November 8th to go vote, I don't want to go vote. Give me that mail-in ballot right there. I'm going to go vote for my house. Oh, I'm just I don't want to get out of my house. So I'm going to go early vote or something of that nature. I'm not, look, ladies and gentlemen, go early vote. I'm not against early voting if it's done correctly. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to have an election day and that's it. Voter suppression. No, it's not voter suppression. Hey, November 8th from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock. That's our times here in Louisiana. That's your window to go vote. If you're in line before 8 o'clock, we'll let you vote. But if you show up after 9 o'clock, after 8 o'clock, you're out of luck. But see, that's voter suppression. No, that's not voter suppression. That's rules. It's kind of funny when somebody shows up to school, they put them in shows up late for school. Oh, Johnny, you're late. it was only 2 minutes. It's late. The rules. But it's kind of funny we can't do that on election. There's a lot of things you're supposed to have rules on election, and people are like, oh, that's not fair. But in every other life cycle, every other life event, those rules apply. You're fine. It's you don't see people going up to a liquor or a liquor store or go try to find some cigarettes, and they go up to the counter of the store and say, "Hey, give me Marlboro and give me some Jack Daniels, please. Can I have an ID? Oh, of course, yeah. Here's my ID. I'm over 21." But when they go to the polls, can't see an ID. How dare you? That's racist. See, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay to show you're cool with showing your ID for cigarettes and for Jack Daniels, but you're not going to show, you don't want to show your ID to vote. And look, I agree with that. I think we should just have one day. Hey, no week, no 2 weeks, no whatever, unless you have a legitimate reason for early voting. And that's where I get from this. This was done late October. A lot of people are going to vote for Featherman, and they won't. Anyway, keeping on the track of the campaign trail, and when I saw this, I said, look, I guess the whole theme of this show, and I didn't even realize, is this how out of touch the Democrats are with the American people. How out of touch are the Democrats with the American people? Because now Charlie Crist is the candidate running against Ron DeSantis. Inside tip, he does not have a chance. I'm just saying. Went ahead and stopped at a campaign trail this week, and he was on the campaign trail. And Charlie Crist portrays himself as Jesus Christ against the Satan in bizarre stump speech. Really? Democrat Charlie Crist, the man who kicked off his campaign challenger Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis by disavowing the votes of more than 4 million Floridans who have accused of having a hate in their heart in the back with another bizarre set of remarks. In a video tweeted by DeSantis, the War Room account, Crist is seen speaking to a group of voters when he points out the colors of his campaign literature at the same as the Ukrainian flag. We're fighting for freedom too, Crist said, apparently comparing his campaign against DeSantis to Ukraine's fight against Russia to the still-like clap of the audience. So basically he's saying DeSantis is Russian and he is Ukrainian. Or he's comparing that. See, he's the good guy. He's the Ukrainians. He's outnumbered. He's outboxed. But guess what? He's going to come back bigger and stronger. He's going to win at the last minute, apparently. And Russia. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. The ideology of the Russians are closer to the Democrat Party than to the Republican Party. I'm sorry. That's just plain simple. Zelensky is amazing, Crist said. The courage of the strength and the core of that he shows. This is an election about decency. The Democrat added, decency that he shows. This is an election about decency. The Democrat added, despite his previous statement that roughly half of Florida voters in 2018 election were hateful people whose support he did not want. To Crist, the 2020 election is about being decent. To another one, about being kind to everyone. It's called the Florida for All, Crist explained. You know, we've got a divider on the other side, a uniter over here. Again, how Crist thinks he could be the unitizer while demonizing half of his state in the real sketch voters, giving his new remark. You know, some people call him Satan. Crist and alleged uniter says, have you heard that? He asks. Yes, comes the murmuring from Crist's audience. I'm trying to be nice, Crist came. DeSantis that versus that, he says, while pointing to his name on one of his campaign sign posters on the wall behind him. A few in the audience said Christ in the pair play of the Democrat candidate's name. Think about it. Boom. Crist said in agreement with those in his audience that see him as Jesus Christ taking on Satan, a bit self-arrogant, but the First Amendment allows such insane claims. Ladies and gentlemen, this man said he is, if you compare his race with DeSantis, he is Jesus and DeSantis is Satan. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I did not plan for that to be the theme of the show, but how out of touch are the Democrats with the American citizens? I'm going to tell you right here, he lost every Christian's vote. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I do not compare one human being to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That is blaspheming right there. I would even call out Ron DeSantis if he comes out and says, I am like Christ and that guy's like Satan. And I didn't notice that until just reading now that he also compared himself to Ukraine and DeSantis to Russia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine this, though. I want to say this. Just imagine this if this was a Republican that did do this. The backlash. I got this from conservative media. But imagine this being on CNN, MSNBC, Fox. This man will be done, ladies and gentlemen. But apparently it wasn't on the big stream media because he has a D behind his name. This is ironic. This is stupid. I'm sorry. This is hypocrisy at its finest and stupidity. This is beyond stupidity, in my humble opinion. So anyway, with the last couple of minutes I got left, I got this news article right before I got on the air, and I read this and I'm like, wow, wow. And I was planning on doing the video. Unfortunately, I had technical difficulties. I could not get the videos on my computer. So I'm going to have to read the transcript and just explain what's going on. But I have this article from Fox News. Stacey Abrams went ahead on The View, I believe, today. And Stacey Abrams praised on The View for not conceding election. Defends saying she won Georgia's race in 2018. The host of The View praised Georgia Democratic Global National candidate Stacey Abrams for not conceding her election in 2018 as she defended her claim that she won her race against Republican Brian Kemp. I'm going to stop right there for a second. If The View can go ahead and praise Stacey Abrams for not conceding, they should have Donald Trump on there and praise him tomorrow. Because Donald Trump was criticized for not conceding the election to now President backwards Joe Biden. And he was criticized. He was put down. You're evil because you don't want to concede an election that you rightfully lost. Donald Trump didn't have to concede anything. Look, backwards Joe Biden is in the White House. So all you people that say, I don't think he lost it. Look, Donald Trump is not the president. Joe Biden is. And that's just basic truth. I'm not gonna sit here and say nothing else. But anyway, but on that note, if they're praising her for not conceding, because look, I'm gonna be blunt with you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm gonna say. Everything that Donald Trump did in 2020, Stacey Abrams did in 2018. She made some of the same claims. There's a difference though. One has an R and one has a D. One's a woman and also a minority, and the other one's an old white guy. That's basically. I'm not trying to sound like the left. I'm just, you look at the comparison. But then this is another thing. Stacey Abrams gets praised for not conceding and saying that she won the election. Donald Trump doesn't, because we live in a two-tarial system. But anyway, let's keep on going. Now this is from Fox News, by the way, just for all the fact checkers. So this is your second run against incumbent Brian Kemp for governor, and the polls show a tight race. Man, we talked about polls in the second segment. Especially the poll this morning. When you lost in 2018, you didn't traditionally concede, which I appreciate because you created voter suppression. Now see, they're putting this in, ladies and gentlemen, voter for suppression. People in Georgia did not have the right to vote. That's why Stacey Abrams lost. That's one of the claims she brings out. Are you confident that this will be a free and fair election? Whoa! Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you remember in 2020 it was the most free and fair election out there? So why Stacey Abrams? Why would they ask a question like this? Would this be a free and fair election? Why you're asking that question? I thought all our elections were free and fair. See, and look, ladies and gentlemen, look, the media isn't going to go ahead and get popped for this. No, this is hypocrisy at its finest. I'm just being blunt. And not to repeat performance of what happened before, co-host Sonny Helston asks. Abrams said she appreciated the farming of Huston's questions. I have never denied that I lost. I don't live in the government messages. I would have noticed, she said. Whoa, hold on. There's video evidence, and I have the video. Like I said, I couldn't put it. Well, you know what? Hold on. For my audience, I'm going to do this. Because let me go Bluetooth. Like I said, technical difficulties. Let's see. Let me go right here because I want to hear it because for the fact checkers. Because there will be fact checkers out there. No, she never said that. She never said that she didn't lose the election. She won. Well, hold on. I'm gonna disclaim that right here. So let me go ahead and pause it. Okay. So listen to Stacey Abrams right here, ladies and gentlemen. This was done by the RNC research team. And this is the clip where she says she won the election. So listen here.
Despite the final tally and the inauguration and the situation we find ourselves in, I do have one very affirmative statement to make. We won.
So she said it right there. We won. But according to her statement on Fox News, listen here. Abrams said she appreciated the farming of Huston's question. I never denied that I lost. I don't live in the government mansions. I would have noticed. And there's a clip that's going around that shows me saying that we won. And what I was referring to was that we won in the terms of communities that were long left out of the electional process, finally participating in 18 in an outstanding number. Ladies and gentlemen, she's talking out of two sides of her mouth. Because later on in the interview, she said that in 2019 and 2020, they changed the election laws. And they fixed it to where people can go vote. But them laws were not in place in 2018. So her almost winning was under diabolical Republican rule. So ladies and gentlemen, she lied. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman really thought she won the election. But I'm not delusional, just so clear. But we know that that was the issue that we raised in 18. In fact, 204 precincts were shut down and 50. See, ladies and gentlemen, a voter suppression. That's why I didn't win, because Brian Kemp and them nasty, evil Republicans stopped people from voting. Ladies and gentlemen, if that was the case, she nearly won. Georgia was close. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years later, 2 Senate Democrats won for election. But Stacey Abrams coming out and saying this, that she does not deny the election. She does not deny that she never denied she lost. It is true. Ladies and gentlemen, in that clip that I showed, you heard, because I didn't have, unfortunately, I didn't have the video to show on and for my listeners to hear. Stacey Abrams was running around still saying she won that election. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she did file lawsuits, and they did go to court, and they were heard. They were heard. That's very important. Because you might be saying, well, Donald Trump went ahead and had all his cases, all 60-some cases went to court, and they didn't get, they agreed with the percentage that he lost. Well, they did go to court. I will give you the honesty of that. They did go to court. But they were not dismissed on merits. They were dismissed on merits, saying the one that was bringing the lawsuit didn't have the right to bring the lawsuit. Now, I can't think of the word, but by merit of the position and everything, it was never heard. And that's just facts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying Donald Trump won the election. I'm not saying none of that. I'm basically, and look, this is, be blunt, this is for social media and the podcast side to protect themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, Stacey Abrams today on The View, well, first off, they said they praised her for not conceding. Well, Donald Trump did. Why didn't they praise him? And also, she still says she won 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be blunt with you, and I have the proof. I have a 10-minute video of Democrats denying elections before 2020. And they were praised by the whole mainstream media because they're standing up for what's right. And 2020 comes around, and when Republicans make the same claims, you election denier, you're fascist, ooh. See, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the issue that we're having today. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tutorial system. The media is only one way. The politicians are so out of touch with the people. It is ridiculous. And that's why, look, I'm glad what happened in a lot of Republican states. They changed the laws. They fixed up voting rolls. They toughened up election securities. And that's why I do have hope for this election, ladies and gentlemen. I do. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is gonna be my last point. Let's say like this. You know what? I'm gonna hold that thought. I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and man, I'm trying to say it in the right way. Barack Obama won. Let's just say it like that. When Barack Obama won in 2008, I was young. I could not vote. I was very upset, but there was no way I was saying there was no denying that. Let's just say it like this. When I know that we lost, I put on my big boy pants. I come behind this microphone and I say that, look, we lost. Let's keep going. I'm not an election denier. But at the same time, if we gotta go ahead and we gotta compare apples to apples. Let's compare apples to apples. Let's not compare oranges to apples. Let's not give these people free range to speak their mind and their opinion, and the other side block them. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right. On that note, I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. It's an honor and a blessing always to be with you. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on the platform you're listening on, and also go ahead and share with a friend, tell a neighbor, and let's get the word out. Remember, Jesus Christ is coming back, and he's coming back soon. So everybody, don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, reach out to me, and I will tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and make heaven your home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. Bye-bye.
And he is the open door.